First things first, we are going to start off with the sausages. Now, the sausages that I picked up, they have so many different ingredients inside that I'm only going to put in a few extra ingredients. And that's a little tip for you guys. If you're trying to figure out what ingredients can I cook with these sausages, you don't have to worry about using too many ingredients because they're plant-based, so there's so many different ingredients inside them already. I'm only going to use 3 different ingredients with these plant-based sausages, and that's 2 teaspoons of onions, 1 teaspoon of roasted garlic and herb seasoning, and half of a lemon. Yes, I said it, half of a lemon. And I know it sounds a little bit random and maybe even weird, but trust me, you're going to want those sausages to soak up all the flavors from the lemon. We're going to let the sausages cook in the flavors for a few more minutes, and once they've turned golden brown, they're ready and you can take them out. And as you can see, I like mine brown. So the next thing that's in an English breakfast is beans, and I'm not talking about pinto beans and I'm not talking about black beans. I'm talking about mother effing baked beans. Like, if you was to look up the word British in the dictionary, no joke, there would be a picture of baked beans right there. And we're not really going to do much with the beans. Literally, we're just going to heat it up in a pot and then stir it at the same time. So the next thing that we're going to work on is the scrambled eggs. That's in an English breakfast, and I'm going to use tofu to make the scrambled eggs. And the first thing that we're going to do is absorb all the water from the tofu using paper towels. You can also use a cloth if you want. I just didn't really have one, so I'm going to use paper towels. Tofu basically tastes like shit if you don't season it properly, so we are going to season the crap out of our scrambled eggs. And we're going to start with 1 tablespoon of minced onions and a tablespoon of minced garlic. Now, once they're both cooking and they're a little bit golden and you start seeing color and you start smelling the aromas from the onions and the garlic, that's when you're going to put in your scrambled eggs, aka tofu. And the way you're going to do it is you're going to crumble it in with your hands. Once the tofu is cooking and everything is looking good, you're going to add 1 tablespoon of salt and 1 tablespoon of pepper. And then for the color, because we obviously want to imitate scrambled eggs, you're going to add a tiny, and I'm saying this like with emphasis, yeah, a tiny amount of turmeric, because you don't really want to put a lot. You don't even need a lot. Like, I literally put in a pinch of turmeric, and this is the color that I got, which was sick. And then after that is done, we are going to add some dhania. No, I'm kidding. We're going to add some a pinch of coriander just to give it a little bit of culture. You know what I'm saying? The next thing that we're going to work on in an English breakfast is the hash browns. And we're going to start from scratch. So peel your potato. And then once you've peeled your potato, you're going to grate it like it's cheese into a big bowl. And then what we're going to do is we are going to wash out all the starch from the potato, and we're just going to make sure all of that unnecessary crap is not in there anymore. After you've finished washing the potatoes, you're going to put a cheesecloth into a bowl and then put the potatoes into that too. You're then going to squeeze out all the water from the potatoes, Ah, bless my cousin for trying to help me out. He saw that this little girl was struggling and he was just like, you know what? I got this, sis. I got this. So once the potatoes drained, all the water is gone, we're just going to heat up a pan, put some oil in there, and then throw the potato in. And we're just going to flatten it out and let everything cook for about 5 minutes. So after you've cooked your potatoes for 5 minutes and you've let it cool down a little bit, you're going to then put it into a bowl and then we're going to add some ingredients into it. So we're going to add a 1/4 cup of vegan cheddar cheese, 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Now, I actually couldn't find all-purpose flour because of the whole coronavirus thing that's happening right now. So I had to use coconut flour, which messed up my hash browns and it messed up my flow and it messed up my mojo. So, you know, I had to settle for that. But then we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of crushed garlic and 1.5 teaspoons of peppers and 1.5 teaspoons of onion powder. And then 1.5 teaspoons of salt. So once you've added your ingredients into the potato, we're just going to mix it all up and then make sure it has cooled down a little bit because for the next part, we are going to use our hands. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab a handful and we're just going to shape it into a hash brown. You know, we're going to shape it into a hash brown. Like, it's easy as hell. Look at that. Look at my down. So after we've shaped our hash browns, we are then going to fill our pan with oil and we're going to put the hash browns in and let the hash browns just fry in it. Now you want the heat to be medium to low and the wait time for this, like the cooking time, is roughly about 7 minutes. 7 minutes. 7 minutes on each side. So you definitely want to keep flipping them over to just checking it out and seeing if it's not burnt, if it's not cooking too much. Last but not least, we are going to cook my favorite vegetable of all times, mushrooms. Like, what? So I love cooking my mushrooms in this recipe, and it's basically called a garlic butter recipe. And the first thing that we're going to do is fill the pan with oil, and when it's hot, we're going to put the mushrooms in, and the first thing we're going to do is season the mushrooms. So we're going to season it with a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Once the mushrooms are cooking for about 3 minutes, they're going to start to change color, and that's when we're going to add the next of our ingredients. So the next thing you're going to add is 3 tablespoons of vegan butter and 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. Last but not least, you are then going to let the mushrooms soak in the butter and garlic for about 5 minutes, and then you're going to top it off with 1 tablespoon of coriander for the culture again. And there you have it, guys. That is my full vegan English breakfast recipe, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys liked it. And if you did, please like and comment and subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time.